Welcome to the Poisoner's Almanac podcast. This is Adam. Just wanted to let you guys know in the show notes, you can find the links to follow us on socials. You can find the Poisoner's Almanac Instagram account, my personal TikTok, and then Rebecca's personal TikTok as well. Drop us a follow over there. We post about the podcast there, but especially the podcast Instagram. Becca runs that herself, and she gets into deep cut, granular info on all things poisons on that account. If you're into this podcast, you're going to love what she does with that account. And thanks for listening. Welcome to the Poisoner's Almanac podcast. I'm your co-host, Adam.
I'm Rebecca.
My dear, how are you today?
I am quite at my leisure. So,
Is it the 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend?
either that or it might be the lack of motivation to do anything. So I just decided to chill, even if my brain is still way too active.
Gotcha.
But I've been doing a lot of research this weekend because I didn't get a chance to last weekend I got a chance to last weekend, but last week was Camilla's last week of school before summer, and there was a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I had my attention taken away from how I normally do my research. So normally I have like set days that I sit down and can focus on this.
Right.
But my child kind of requires my attention.
That's right. When she's right here at home, it's a different situation.
So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing great because 3-day weekend. My favorite part about my job is not going.
Isn't that everybody's?
Yeah.
I suppose.
You can tell I've been working in America for a decent amount of time now. Also, summer vacation is coming up after this short holiday week, too.
You still call it summer vacation, like a kid in school?
Well, it happens during the summer.
Yeah, oh well.
Why are you giving me hash about calling it summer vacation?
I don't know, because it sounds like a kid thing.
Sorry.
You know, I was always taught when you grow up, there's no more summer vacation.
That's right. There's no laughing at the North Pole.
Yes, there is.
Oh, no, there's no smiling at the North Pole. Is that what he said? I can't remember. I'll have to go back and watch that movie.
Or singing?
In June. There's no singing at the North Pole?
Yes, there is. Are we going to have to look this up again and see who's right and who's wrong?
We might.
I was wrong last time.
Gosh, that was hysterical. All right, so today's episode is about what?
Well, we talked about poisonous critters the last time. We're going to talk about the venomous ones today.
Don't blave.
But so just a review, poisonous is a toxin. A poison is a toxin that enters the body via ingestion, inhalation, or absorption through the skin. So you're taking it in that way. Venomous is a venom is a toxin that enters the body via injection, such as being bit by a snake or a spider or any of the manner of, or stung, or any of the manner of species I may mention here.
Our daughter just, what would you call that sound?
A yelp?
She just yelped with disgust at something that happened on Roblox?
Probably Roblox. That's probably what it was. So if you hear random noises.
We were both not ready for that.
No, if you hear random noises, it's either going to be our daughter, who is happily on summer vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And
for the listeners who can't see, she just patted my leg when she said summer vacation.
Also, it's Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day to everyone out there.
Happy birthday to the memorials, which is obviously what this holiday is about.
You really need to do your research.
I'm just kidding.
Anyway, so you may hear some fireworks in the background too. I don't know what they're doing around here. We've had fireworks every day since, Thursday?
Yeah, there are some people who live in neighborhoods who should still be living in the woods, and that's just how I feel.
But if they were living in the woods, they might set it on fire.
You make a good point.
Okay, back to the venom. Another word to remember is aposematism, the advertising of or by an animal to potential predators that it is not worth attacking or eating. So it's like a warning. We are going to talk about a variety of different creatures. And I want to start with some of the smaller ones, work our way up. Smaller land versions, work our way up, and then kind of jump into the sea a little bit. Okay?
Got it.
So the first one we're going to discuss is a caterpillar.
A venomous caterpillar?
A venomous caterpillar. And there's actually quite a few venomous caterpillars, but we're going to be talking about a.
I have not the pleasure of knowing what you're speaking.
Well, there's one that doesn't live far from here, so you might want to pay attention.
Wow.
The caterpillar I want to talk about first, though, it packs a pretty big punch. It is the giant silk moth caterpillar. The scientific name is Lonomia obliqua. Also, this should be known. I'm probably going to say some of these scientific names wrong.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm used to plants. I don't study a whole lot, and we are going to go back to poisonous plants after this. But I figured since everybody's getting out for summer, they have a possibility of running into some of these critters, whether they live here or somewhere else. And it's just good to know that, hey, there's stuff everywhere that could kill you. So.
Happy summer.
Yes. Anyway, this caterpillar was discovered in 1885. They live in South America and were classified by the Guinness World Records people as the most venomous caterpillar in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally wrote in the side over here, no touchy.
Okay.
So, which should be true for most of these creatures.
Oh, for sure.
Don't just touch things that you see crawling around. Just because it's a caterpillar, it could be potentially deadly, especially if you live in South America.
Okay.
Which I think down there, they know. They're not like us who are like, I'm going to touch that. I'm going to pick that up. I feel like there's people around.
I think I should touch that.
I don't, maybe, because I heard it joked about a lot, like as like an American, like we tend to have that sort of curiosity over here where we're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go investigate that thing that might kill me.
Hey, y'all, watch this.
Yeah, so I don't want to say I'm like that because I'm actually quite cautious.
You are not. I can confirm to the listening audience.
I literally won't go in the lake because I'm worried about brain-eating
amoebas.
So,
yeah.
It's not worth it. Anyway.
She's a whole vibe, everybody.
It's the anxiety, but hey, it's kept me alive. So, these are about 2 inches long with background colors ranging between green and brown, and they have these detachable spines. And obviously, I'm going to post pictures of these on the Instagram, which I do need to update because it's been a minute because I've been busy.
Follow
but I'm gonna get
podcast there. Instagram,
yes.
poisoners_almanac.
I'm actually going to work on it tonight so I can get that done. They release a toxic venom that causes, and you may remember this phrase, this condition, disseminated intravascular coagulation. DIC. You ever heard of that?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Maybe it's more of a nursing thing than a PT thing. It's basically a condition that leads to hemorrhaging, like all over. Like your entire body just sort of starts bleeding everywhere, hemorrhaging out of all the orifices. And it's not a pretty thing.
Okay.
Now, this toxin has strong anti-clotting effects, obviously, effects of touching and being envenomated. Envenomated?
That's a word? Okay. I'm going to figure out how to use that in a sentence this week.
Start with localized inflammation, then progress to headache, fever, vomiting, and malaise.
Malaise,
Within
my lady.
Within 24 hours, severe internal bleeding occurs, leading to noticeable bruising, hematuria. I always want to say it's blood in your urine, y'all.
Santa Maria.
I should be able to say that, but for some reason, it always sticks to my tongue.
Nina Pinta hematuria.
Hemorrhages in the lungs and brain and organ failure. So, a lot of bleeding. An estimated 500 people have died as a result of coming into contact with this caterpillar, including a 70-year-old Brazilian woman who did not know one was in her slipper before sticking it on her foot. She was hospitalized and in a coma. Then 4 days later, she had internal hemorrhaging and died from intracranial hemorrhaging 7 days after being stung.
That is wild.
Yeah.
This is a caterpillar?
A caterpillar.
I'm so conflicted.
They literally look like you shouldn't touch them, though. Like, it doesn't look like one of those cute little black and yellow caterpillars that, isn't hairy. Well, not as hairy as it could be.
Wow.
They don't look like that. If you saw it, you'd be like, I should not touch that. Now, if stung, visible spines should be removed from the body immediately. Like, you can use tape, apparently. But although it doesn't always get all of them out. And the victim should get medical attention. There is an anti-venom, but it must be given soon after contact. Treatment may also require antifibrinolytics for the...
Fibrinolytics? Is that what you said? Fibrinolytics?
Fibrinolytics.
Okay.
Yeah. So, while it takes between 20 to 100 stings for a case to be fatal, typically, these caterpillars are covered in these spines and often cluster together, making multiple stings easy if someone accidentally puts their hand against a tree or steps on a cluster barefoot.
Oh,
So yeah, definitely have to really watch where you're putting your hands and feet if you go to South America. Not just for this. There's a lot of critters
this
down
is
there.
not the only offering from
Yeah.
the South American wilderness.
There's a lot of crazy stuff. But I do want to see a capybara.
I mean, yeah,
Oh, they're so cute.
they
Okay.
are so friendly.
Now, deforestation is also making contact with these more common because they're kind of moving closer and closer
Sure.
to where people live.
Yeah, toward populated areas.
So that doesn't bode well either.
That ain't no good.
The next caterpillar I want to talk about, yes, there's more, it's known as the Puss caterpillar.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you spell that?
Puss,
Okay.
caterpillar. And I'll tell you why in a moment. That is usually called that. It's also called the asp caterpillar.
So we had the DIC with the first caterpillar, and now the Puss with the second caterpillar.
Really?
I'm so sorry.
What is wrong with you?
I'm so sorry.
Anyway.
You can edit that out. I'll never know.
You got problems.
I'm so sorry.
What are you, 12?
Well, I'm on summer vacation.
Anyway. Here is a scientific name I'm going to get wrong. Megalopagi opercularis.
No, you nailed it.
Okay. It's
idea.
the southern flannel moth larvae, basically, this caterpillar. And it's called the Puss caterpillar because it actually has hairs that kind of make it look cat-like, like a tiny little cat,
All right.
like a Persian. What is your problem? Anyway, moving on. You are such a child.
Guys, I'm reacting to all of her research in real time, just so you know. So, she just didn't even warn me.
Well, grow up.
I'm sorry.
So these are about...
I'm 40, by the way.
Are you done?
I think so.
We could get it out. Get it out. So they range in color from a downy grayish white to golden to dark gray. And they may have like a bright orange streak running down their back. Like I said, they look like a tiny, Persian cat, hair-wise. This fur contains venomous spikes, so skin contact with these spines will result in immediate skin irritation and intense radiating pain.
Sure.
And this pain has been likened to, a broken bone. It's bad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Other symptoms include swelling, blisters, nausea, headache, abdominal distress, chest pain, numbness, and sometimes difficulty breathing. And this is all from one caterpillar.
Okay. Why are you laughing? I know. I'm sorry.
Tape can also be used to remove the remaining spines with this caterpillar. Some remedies include using ice packs, antihistamines, probably like Benadryl, and don't come after me. I know long-term use of Benadryl can cause dementia. We've just figured that out. But this is literally just take one.
And that's wild to hear because there's so many people who use Benadryl
to sleep
every day.
But using it every so often for an allergic reaction,
an inflammatory.
As long as you're not using it long-term, I think you're good. So. Yeah, so you can use ice packs, antihistamines, baking soda, hydrocortisone cream, comfrey plant juice. It's kind of an alternative medicine remedy.
Oh, never heard of that.
And calamine lotion. Although these remedies really don't work for everyone, it seems. It's kind of a whatever works for you basis and just deal with the pain until it subsides.
Calamine spray has been magical for me for bug bites for years. Mosquitoes love me. You know this.
Yeah, they don't like me. They don't care for me. Now, pain and other symptoms can last hours to days. So, no touchy.
Several days.
No
you
touchy.
got that right.
Don't touch these.
Man, what a horrible thing to have happen.
Yeah. Well, we are going to move on to wasps and hornets.
Okay.
And we're not going to talk about your typical wasps and hornets, although those can be a pain. Pain.
Get it?
I'm actually allergic to wasps, hornets, bee stings, that kind of thing.
Right.
So it all sucks for me.
Mhm.
But, and I'm a big believer though in like, they don't, well, some, you don't mess with them, they don't mess with you. Now, some wasps and hornets are definitely more aggressive, and that's, yeah. But
Okay.
bees, I tend to just leave alone, and they leave me alone.
Mhm.
Okay, we're going to talk about, the first one we're going to talk about is the Asian giant hornet. And it basically is what it sounds like. They're also called yak killers.
Yak killers.
You know what a yak is?
I do.
Okay.
It's like a livestock type
Yeah,
animal,
yeah.
like almost like a cow or
Now,
an ox.
I'm going to see if any of this like brings up memories of the past few years when I read some of this.
Okay. Wait, are these murder hornets?
Yes, these are murder hornets. Yes.
Oh man. Okay. I'm
now,
excited.
Vespa mandarinia. These are the world's largest hornet. They are about 1 3/4 inches long with a wingspan of about 3 inches and a stinger at about 1/4 of an inch long.
Immediately no.
They're pretty big.
By the way, one of the most famous brands of scooter in the world is called Vespa. It's an Italian brand. Now they're antiques and collector's items, but that's, what is it, Latin for that type of animal? Maybe. The word Vespa, I don't know. Anyways.
I had enough trouble with pronouncing some of the scientific names.
Sure.
I didn't look into all of them. Now, some of them I did. I do have some meanings for some of them. So
okay.
Now this thing is so big it resembles a small bird.
That's
it's
just
also,
too much.
So sometimes it's called a sparrow wasp.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Now they are native to East and South Asia, Southeast Asia, and parts of Russia. The parts that aren't freezing.
Right.
Now, it's also been found in the Pacific Northwest of North America. It was found in 2019 and in 2020, 2021. But we believe they have since been eradicated as there haven't been any more sightings. So here's hope.
Okay.
Don't ask me how they got here in the first place. There might be some information about that, but I didn't see anyone else looking this stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, these are the murder hornets from that time period as everything else was going down the drain.
I still remember all the TikToks we saw of just that coming across everybody's news feed, and we're like, you know what? We're done.
Yeah. Now, these typically feed on larger insects, tree sap, and honey from bee colonies. They look like big-ass ugly hornets. They just look, they're ugly. And I know there's like people who have lived in different parts of Asia that are nodding their heads. Because like, I think in Japan, they just go where they can get, they go in the urban areas. They're not scared of people.
Oh my god.
That kind of thing.
Wow.
Now, they have like this orangish yellow and black coloring. And their venom contains mastoperin M. Mastoperins are cytolytic peptides that damage tissue. So cytolytic, you're basically breaking down.
It's killing cells.
Yeah, you're killing cells.
That's crazy.
So it also contains mandaratoxin, which is a neurotoxin. Entomologist Masato Ono described being stung as like having a hot nail being driven into my leg.
Oh my gosh.
So that's fun.
So he's an expert who's been stung by one.
Yes.
That's nuts.
Now these hornets can also spray their venom into the eyes, apparently.
That's too much.
I don't know how often that's happened, but it's something that has been reported.
Object, Your Honor.
Also, a sting will attract more hornets, and multiple stings can kill humans, even if no allergies are present.
What is this, a video game?
They like rub these pheromones on you or some crap.
Oh my gosh.
When they do it.
That's like a debuff in a video game.
Yeah. About 40 people die every year from these giant hornets. They are known to attack honeybee colonies as well, killing as many as 30,000 bees within a few hours. I mean, it's a massacre.
How cruel.
I know, it's terrible.
Honeybees are like totally...
They're just trying to do their thing.
Making their honey over here,
yeah,
bro.
They're helping
Chill
the
out.
world, and here we are.
Wow.
Then they temporarily live in the bee's hive, rude, feeding on the honey.
Okay.
They'll feed on the honey, and then they take the bee larvae to feed their own young.
If I didn't hate them before.
They're awful.
I definitely do now.
Terrible. Okay. Now, the bees do have one defense. If one hornet approaches, what happens is like one will approach as kind of a scout, and then it'll like rub that pheromone that says, come attack. Yeah.
Jeez.
And then like more will come. But if this one bee approaches and they're able to get him first, then he doesn't have time to do that. So what they do is a bunch, which I mean, like by a bunch, I mean hundreds of these honeybees will surround the hornet sometimes, and they will raise the surrounding temperature by beating their wings until it gets to about 116 degrees.
Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
Dude.
Which will kill the hornet. Now, some bees may die in the struggle as well because it is,
yes,
it is, but it still protects the rest of them. Like it's better than the alternative.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
they have seen that happen. Which is pretty cool to think that they can come up with these
they
come up with these ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
they're harnessing physics to do that.
Now, Japanese researchers have actually tested an extract of the hornet's stomach juices and liquid produced by the larvae, which seems to have this fuel effect for the adults. It tends to fuel them to fly farther and faster. They've been testing it for use as a performance enhancer for athletes.
What's in it?
A lot of amino acids and anyway.
Wow.
So Naoko Takahashi, I really hope I got that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. A marathon runner who won an Olympic gold medal in 2000 said she used this hornet juice and it helped her. It's a natural substance, so it's not against the rules to use it.
Oh my gosh.
So she said it helped. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to drink it. You do you. There is actually a drink called hornet juice, but it's made with amino acids that try to mimic the actual thing. It's not actually made with quote unquote hornet juice.
Okay.
But they did do a study where they found like graduate students actually were able to stay up longer and stuff studying on this stuff. I don't know.
That's crazy. There's got to be some sort of stimulant in
Then
there.
again, like part of me is like, well, what if they thought could it be a placebo effect? I don't know. I don't know that much about the study itself. So it'd be interesting to look into though.
Right. I mean, you got to do randomized control trial to see if it's.
And maybe they did. I did not look that far into that particular study.
Yeah, you got the gist of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I want to talk about the Africanized honeybee. These are also known as the killer bees.
Okay.
You heard of killer bees?
I have.
They've had a lot of media attention. There's been like books and movies about them and all kinds of fun, maybe not so fun stuff.
Fun fact, a guy I knew was playing college baseball at the same little tiny college I ended up playing ball at. I saw him one day and he told me a story about how they were around Atlanta. And they were up to the plate, the opposing teams in the field on defense. A swarm of bees came after the center fielder, and he had to run away and jump over the center field wall to get away from them in the middle of the game.
Jeez. I guess they didn't like that team.
I guess not.
All right.
True story.
Well, there you go.
And I don't know if he got back into the game or
if
they just sent another player out to replace it.
Were they just regular like wasps or
I think
honeybees don't typically act like that.
It must have been a swarm of something.
The
like
yellow jackets might.
Could have been yellow jackets, But they meant business.
Oh,
and he had to sprint to get away. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, these killer bees, as they have been called, are actually a hybrid of the East African lowland honeybee and the European honeybees that were basically accidentally released in Brazil, where it was introduced as an effort to increase honey production. So they had them in this like sort of quarantine area where they couldn't get out, and then somebody accidentally like removed the net or something, and then they got out and anyway, then they kept mating and making hybrids of themselves. And
yes, kind of like COVID.
Oh well. Yeah, I mean, this is an insect and that is a virus, but yeah, I mean,
somebody accidentally let it out.
Whoops. Now, they have since spread throughout South America and eventually arrived in North America in 1985. I was born in 1985, so I also came to America in 1985.
Hey-o, get it?
I'm not a killer, though. Mainly found in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Southern California, and Florida, because why not?
Because why not, of course.
While their venom is only as potent as any other typical bees, these are much more defensive. They react faster, and they will chase you a good quarter of a mile.
What?
About 400 meters to 1,300 feet.
A quarter mile?
Yeah.
I would just be like, I just stand still. You know what?
We're done.
You earned it.
Yeah, it's whatever. They have killed around 1,000 humans and have also killed horses and other animals. It's because they're all attacking you at once. It's not just one sting. So you're getting stings upon stings
like
upon
Macaulay
stings.
Culkin and My Girl.
Oh, Also, is he allergic? I think he might have been allergic.
He was allergic. He lost his glasses, couldn't find his way out. It's extremely sad. You're welcome.
Where are his glasses?
Oh, man.
God. Anyway, you really threw me off with that.
Did you hear me? I said I'm not afraid anymore.
Okay, enough Macaulay Culkin's here. I mean, great actor. But okay, so victims receive more than 1 to 2 stings because of their aggressive nature. More around 10 times that of other bees. Like,
wow.
They get that many stings.
Okay.
Another one I would just want to mention is the tarantula hawk wasp. That sounds fun.
They're just using a random number generator to put 3 names together.
These are in the genus Pepsis or Hemipepsis. Fun. I mean, I take Pepsid, but
I was about to
this
say
is not the same
Pepsid?
thing.
Is that the-
It also preys on tarantulas. This wasp does. Doesn't usually.
So it's a tarantula hawk wasp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's literally going after tarantulas like a hawk goes after small rodents.
Now, these are pretty huge.
Wow.
They're about, I mean, for a wasp, they're 2.5 inches long with about a 12 millimeter long stinger. Their bodies don't look as much like wasps as others do. These look more like blue-black in color. The sting, though, is considered the second most painful, with one researcher describing the pain as excruciating and unrelenting, and that it, quote-unquote, simply shuts down one's ability to do anything except scream.
Oh, is that that's what you wrote down?
That's what he said.
Jeez, man.
Thankfully, they are typically docile and don't attack humans, typically. But don't push it.
But they will mess up a tarantula, bro.
Now, we're going to talk about the bullet ant, which actually beats out the pain scale of that wasp sting.
Okay.
The bullet ant, Paraponera clavata.
Panera bread? What did you say?
Paraponera. Now, these live in rainforests in Central and South America. They are like 0.7 to 1.5 inches long. They're like these nasty little ants.
An inch and a half long ant?
They are reddish, black, and
Lord.
wingless. Thank God. Now, its sting ranks the highest of insect stings, according to the Schmidt Sting Pain Index. And I will tell you what that is, because I had to look it up because I was intrigued. Now, Justin O. Schmidt, he actually won the Ig Nobel not Peace Prize. Oh my God. There is no Ig Nobel Peace Prize. Ig Nobel Prize. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute too. For this pain index that he created.
Ignoble?
Huh?
Is it IGNOBLE?
Yes, but I'm saying Ig so that you know how I'm spelling it right here.
Oh, I see. So it's the word ignoble.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's like, it just says Ig and then it's a space and then noble. Because it's a play on words.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, for his pain index. Now, the bullet ant has the worst sting at rank 4.0 plus. This is apparently how his scale works.
Okay.
The pain is described as, quote unquote, walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail embedded in your heel.
Oh my God.
So these ignoble prizes, where they're like it's spelled Ig space noble.
Gotcha.
Satirical Nobel Prize, basically for unusual or trivial achievements in scientific research.
Okay.
So it is basically it's kind of a play on words. So the Nobel Prize, and then they just put IG in front of it to make the
Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. So these are actually organized by AIR, the Annals of Improbable Research, a scientific humor. Yes, a scientific. I wanted to make sure everyone knew that it was him.
Yes, and we appreciate your efforts.
It's a scientific humor magazine. Prizes.
Well, I'm laughing already. Well played.
The prizes are actually presented at Harvard by Nobel Prize winners, actual Nobel Prize winners.
Not an Ig Nobel?
No.
Okay.
Not Ig Nobel. Anyway.
They did this at Harvard?
Yes.
Man.
Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Little rabbit hole. I don't want to go down.
Great.
Is it rabbit trail or rabbit hole? Because I say something different every time. If you go down the rabbit hole, that reminds me of Alice in Wonderland.
I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Yeah.
And then the rabbit trail is...
I'm going to go with rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole.
It's an Alice in Wonderland reference, is it not?
Maybe.
It's a rabbit hole in
You know
Alice
what?
in Wonderland.
I will look into that and we'll talk about it next episode.
We certainly will. We'll have to.
will.
There'll be no getting around it.
Now, the pain of its one sting has also been compared to being shot, which is why it's called a bullet ant.
Oh my god!
It feels like you're getting
That's
shot.
Why?
Yeah.
So intense.
It could also cause lymphadenopathy, edema, which is swelling.
Yeah.
Tachycardia, which is increased heart rate. Or, well, abnormally high heart rate.
Yes.
I should say. And blood in your stool. Like, it's bad. It's not fun.
Of course, all I can hear is Ryan from Whose Line Is It Anyway? There's blood in my stool.
I thought is that Ryan or Colin?
It's Colin.
It's Colin, yeah. I love Whose Line.
You.
Or the old ones, yeah.
Gosh. Good times.
Anyway, now this venom contains ponerotoxin, which, as you recognize, comes from its name.
Panera Bread.
Paraponera. So, which affects...
I didn't know that Panera Bread sold toxins. There's crazy stuff I learn every time we do these episodes.
See, what happens is an ant eats one of their sandwiches, and then it just accumulates the toxin.
Yeah, gets that crazy lemonade. We used to love the lemonade, didn't we?
Oh my god. Traumatized. Okay. All right. So we have ponerotoxin, and it's spelled Ponera, not
Oh, you know how I'm spelling it in my head, though.
So this affects sodium ion channels, causing the central nervous system to basically shut off. So it's a neurotoxic paralytic, basically. So it's got that going for it. Now, there's a tribe in Brazil. Oh my god, I'm going to mispronounce this, and I don't want to seem like an absolute jerk. Okay, so we found a pronunciation on the internet for this tribe, and I'm going to try to say it, and he's going to play this pronunciation that he found, and I want to know who gets closer to it. If you know how to pronounce this, please help us. So my pronunciation, Satere Mawe.
And here's what we found online.
Seder Ma tribe.
Seder Ma?
Seder Ma.
I just don't... That's like somebody from like Alabama trying to say it. No offense if you're from Alabama, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway.
Seder Ma.
So this tribe in Brazil, who I hope doesn't come after me. I don't think they have... They probably don't listen to podcasts, but... Seriously, not trying to disrespect.
This letter from the rainforest of Brazil.
Trying to disrespect. I seriously am trying.
We normally
to say
don't do
things
this,
right.
but we really love it if you didn't make fun of us on your podcast. Thanks.
Sorry. So they actually use bullet ants in their initiation rites to become warriors and leaders. I don't think I wouldn't want to be either here because of what they have to do. So they put the ants in a natural sedative of some sort, and they sew like 80 of them into this glove of leaves or vines. Don't ask me where they got this from, okay? With the stingers inside. And then they make the boys wear this glove, quote unquote glove, for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So they're basically stung all over their hand.
Oh my God.
In this glove. Several times, probably. Now, for the initiation to be complete, these boys will have to do this like 20 times over a series of months or years. Now,
okay.
I don't know if anybody's heard of...
What are they preparing for?
I guess they have to be able to endure the pain and suffering that comes with it.
Okay.
Anyway, so Steve Backshaw, who is a British naturalist and TV personality dude, he actually tried this initiation rite with the tribe. And I think it was televised or whatever.
Of course.
And he was left screaming, crying, and writhing around. He also ended up nearly unresponsive because of the neurotoxins in their sting. And basically said, like, if there had been a machete, I would have cut my arms off because of the pain. Like, it's pretty bad. And then imagine having to do that like 20 times over a course of time.
I mean, I guess you call it good TV. I don't know. Hopefully they paid him well.
I would not be a leader or a warrior in this troop, so.
Oh, I would be a simpleton. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Can I be did they have a storyteller? I'll be the storyteller.
That's right. I'll be the janitor. You guys, yeah.
They don't have janitors.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just assuming they have storytellers. I don't know.
Okay.
Now, we're going to talk about some arachnids, because we talked about insects, but arachnids are different than insects.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know one key difference?
No.
What?
I don't remember.
Insects tend to have 6 legs. Arachnids tend to have 8. Their bodies are a bit different. I don't know all the details, but I do know that part.
Okay.
Now, when I say venomous spiders, what are the spiders that you tend to think of around here?
Brown recluse.
And
Black widow.
yeah. So I'm going to dispel a few myths with those.
You do that.
I am. Not saying that you should touch them.
No, don't do that.
Because don't do that either. But
Your Honor,
you know,
we
just
told them.
Just don't touch random critters that you find crawling around.
Don't lick frogs. We
Right.
said that last episode.
But
Thanks for listening.
I want to talk first about black widows. Latrodectus mactans is the southern black widow. There's several widows. Okay. Latrodectus
There's so
hesperus.
many angry women out there.
I mean,
that was kind of cruel. I do apologize, actually.
can you blame them though? Latrodectus hesperus is the western widow, black widow. Latrodectus variolus is the northern black widow. There are 34 species of widows, including red and brown widows. So
Crazy.
I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to talk mostly about Latrodectus mactans, the southern black widow, because it's where we live. These spiders are found everywhere except Antarctica. So
Oh, wow.
you're going to see some form of widow somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are small, dark brown, or shiny black when fully grown and have a red or orange hourglass on the underside of their abdomen.
Oh, it's on the
These,
underside.
yeah, these are
That
the
was on their back.
no, these are the females. Juveniles and males look different and have different markings. Can at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's the females though who have the more dangerous bites. They are also called widows because of their behavior, though it's actually pretty rare. More rare than once thought that they eat the males after mating.
Wow.
They only do that if they are really, really hungry or the male is simply trapped in there with her. They tend to get away. The males do, usually. Anyway.
Wow. That's dark.
Yeah. But I mean, I've heard other insects and critters do that too.
Oh, okay.
There are some insects that do that.
Wow.
Is it the
praying mantis?
Even mantis has those thingies. They tend to do that sometimes. At least that's honestly, I don't know if that's rare or not. I haven't looked into the mantis, but for them, it's actually more rare than them once thought.
You guys are so much bigger than your action figures, except for you, mantis. You're about the same.
Now, the venom of a black widow contains the neurotoxin latrotoxin, which leads to lactrodectism, causing muscle pain, abdominal cramps, sweating, muscle spasms, and tachycardia, which we have said is an abnormal or abnormally high heart rate. This normally lasts about 3 to 7 days.
Well, I mean, you can put them together and have Threven. That's fine.
That sounds like a fantasy holiday I can put in a book. Threven, but may stick around for several weeks.
Threven's Eve.
So it's not particularly nice getting bit.
No.
Now, while painful, though, the black widow's bite is rarely fatal. About 2,500 people report being bitten every year, and most don't need medical treatment. Also, these spiders only bite if threatened.
Okay.
In severe cases, there is antivenom, but it has mostly been used to help with pain and not prevent death, since there really hasn't been any problems with that.
Okay, I thought it was way more dangerous than that.
Most people do.
Okay.
There was a story, apparently a long time ago. I don't know exactly when. I say a long time ago, but it could have been the 50s, which to some people is a long time ago. Maybe the 30s or the 50s, something like that. I could be way off. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But this guy wanted to commit suicide, and he wrote a letter, and he was like, "Sorry, blah blah blah. Sorry, I'm going away." And I don't know what to say. So I'm sorry. But the main point of this story,
the way that you ad-libbed that suicide letter, I'm so proud of you.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, blah blah blah. Sorry, blah blah blah. Sorry.
I don't remember the actual letter, but he was planning to do it with a black widow spider and some pills.
Okay.
The pills are what killed him, not the spider bite.
Oh, okay.
But after that, it became this media frenzy of, black widows are fatal.
Okay.
So
sorry, blah blah blah. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Sorry, so on and so forth.
I wasn't trying to be disrespectful towards
And finally,
him. But
sorry.
it said, I know it said sorry. I just didn't know what everything else it said. Okay.
I'm totally giving you a hard time. That was so great.
Anyway.
Sorry. Please continue.
Okay. Now, there have actually not been any deaths related to black widow spiders in the U.S. since 1983. Those most vulnerable to their venom are young children and the elderly or those with certain health conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not fun to get bit by, but they're not.
It's not fatal.
It's not fatal. Not typically fatal.
Well, that's news to me. Like I said, I thought it was extreme. I thought it would be fatal.
No, well, that said, don't go pick them up.
No, I shan't.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the other one you mentioned, the brown recluse.
Mm-hmm.
Loxosceles reclusa.
Reclusa.
Unless the C is silent, and then it's Loxosceles reclusa.
Taco Tuesday. The S is silent.
Okay. Now, these are small, light to medium brown, but colors can range from whitish brown to gray. They're the ones who have the violin shape on their head, or if you want to get technical, their cephalothorax.
Mm.
They have 6 instead of 8 eyes, which is one way to identify them as well.
Can you see them?
If you look close enough, maybe. I don't typically look at spiders.
If you're close enough to count his eyes, you are too close.
Probably. But there are some people who are like really into bugs and arachnids.
True. So, arachnids instead of insects.
I mean, you can like both. You can study both. Anyway, so these are found in Central and Southern America. They are...
North America?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, North America. Sorry, should have specified. They are reclusive, duh.
Yeah.
And bites are really uncommon. There was actually a family in Kansas in like 2001 who removed over 2,000 of these spiders within like a 6-month period in and around their home.
Okay.
And the family had lived in the house for 6 years and no one had ever been bitten.
That's wild.
So those of you with health anxiety, I'm just helping you out with this. They're pretty uncommon.
Wow.
So these spiders won't bite unless pressed against, pretty much. So
like physically pressed
yeah.
against? Oh, okay.
So they're basically, just if it's a bite, that it's a defensive bite because you've basically brushed against it or something.
Okay.
Now, those who do get bit, it's usually because they get something out of storage, it's been in there a while, they accidentally touch it, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's advised that you shake out camping gear or stored bedding and clothing, that kind of thing. So if something's been put up for a while or clothes have been on the floor for a long time, shake it off.
Sure.
Like Taylor Swift.
Let's go. Right up top. Let's go.
Okay.
Our daughter has discovered Taylor Swift, by the way.
She loves her.
Loves her.
To death. Which, I think she's a great lyricist.
She really is. Not gonna lie.
She's a really good writer. Mm-hmm. Now, if bitten, its venom does contain, oh, dear me, sphingomyelinase D.
Would that give you bad blood?
Sphingo. It is a tissue-destroying agent.
Oof. A
small number of these bites, around 37%, produce loxoscelism. I like loxoscelism better. I don't know if that's right, but I'm going to say it. Loxoscelism, where the skin around the bite dies. Now, the bite may form a necrotizing ulcer and may take weeks or months to heal.
Oh my God.
There are some systemic symptoms present in about 14% of bites and can include fever, nausea and vomiting, rashes, and muscle/joint pain. Rarely, bites can result in breakdown of red blood cells, blood clots, or organ damage and death. Mm-hmm. Now, children under 7 and immune-compromised individuals are the most at risk for systemic problems. But it should also be known that brown recluse bites are often a misdiagnosis for things like staph infections, herpes, shingles, lymphoma, diabetic ulcers, chemical burns, and allergic reactions. There is a way to test wounds to see if they are indeed brown recluse bites, but it isn't used often. So people will go in with some kind of wound and be like, oh, the brown recluse bit me. So it gets blamed for a lot. Oh. But bites are actually pretty uncommon, and not every time someone's bitten do they have that necrotizing ulcer. That is actually quite uncommon too.
Oh.
So those of you who are worried about getting bit by either of these, it's pretty uncommon that you will be bit, and it's pretty uncommon that you will suffer death or debilitating symptoms for long.
Oh, interesting. So, okay. I can see that I had misconceptions about the black widow and the brown recluse.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't go touch it.
No.
It doesn't sound fun to get bit, but it's not
No.
necessarily as fatal as it has been rumored to be.
Well, I can tell you what, I'm gonna keep that $500 ER copay in my pocket.
Okay. Now let's talk about some that are quite dangerous. Starting with the Brazilian wandering spiders. These are in the
Did you say wandering? Like I wonder where the Brazilian wandering spider is?
like wandering as if they wander.
Wander around?
I wonder where they're wandering.
Wait, which one?
It's O.
Okay.
It's O.
You totally.
Now, these are found in South America and Costa Rica. They can be over 1 inch to 2 inches long with a leg span of 5 to 7 inches. Big boys.
I'm immediately
They are
out.
like a grayish brown color, and
Immediately out.
they wander. No, wait, is it A?
Is it?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I feel so dumb.
You look like you just realized this.
No,
Did you
I
write
knew
it down wrong?
I did write it down wrong.
Okay, so it's wandering.
It's wandering.
Okay, because wandering is like, who discovered their
It's a daydreaming
psychological
spider.
disposition?
It's a daydreaming spider.
What?
No, it
Are
is
you making
wandering.
that up?
It is wandering. I got confused for a minute. It is wandering. I'm
What?
so tired.
It's wandering.
It's WANDERING.
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 Wandering? Wandering or wandering?
Wandering.
I'm sorry. It sounds the same in my head, so it just comes out that way.
Okay,
It-
so are you
Give me my
the-
pen.
the
Give me my pen.
daydreaming thing?
Is
Is
not
that
true.
real?
No.
Oh, you just made that up.
I made that up.
Oh, that's so good. You had me. I was like, oh, is that right? Okay, awesome. We'll go with that.
It's wandering.
What?
WANDERING.
Again?
Wandering.
Wandering.
Wandering. It wanders around.
Wandering. The way you said it, though. Wandering.
I
Wandering.
got myself confused now. WANDERING. It moseys about.
The mosey about spider.
That one.
Mr. Frodo.
I am tired. Okay. I have to say wander several times too. Wander the jungle floor at night. They hide in termite mounds, banana plants, under logs, or in bromeliads. They're kind of plants. If you don't know that. They have a little pretty
Okay.
flower
Okay.
during the day. It has been called the banana spider for its tendency to end up as a stowaway in shipments of bananas, like all the way over into the UK and other places. There's people been bit in the UK because they picked up some bananas, and there it was.
I hate everything you
So
just said.
be careful when you pick up bananas. Also, did
Okay.
you know if you brought bananas in and you have plants, sometimes you could be bringing in pests that will eat your plants, like what is it, like spider mites, or what are the white ones? God, I hate them. I hate them so much I don't remember their name. Mealybugs, things like that. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Terrible stuff. So
I've seen you treat your plants for those.
scale
Yeah.
is the most recent. Ugh.
Mhm.
Hate them. Okay, back to this though. Now, they are believed to be one of the most dangerous spiders in the world because of its bold and somewhat aggressive nature, its proximity to humans, and its pretty potent venom. Some of these bites are dry, which means like it doesn't, they don't have any venom in them. Venom is injected in only about a third of bites. Only 2.3% of bites were serious enough for anti-venom, mostly in children. But symptoms of having this venom injected into you include pain, lots of pain, tachycardia, increased blood pressure, vertigo, like dizziness,
Mhm.
fever, sweating, visual disturbances, nausea, vomiting, difficulty breathing, and paralysis. Also priapism for you men. Do you not remember what that is? We talked about it last episode.
I've forgotten.
Priapism. Think. Wander. What priapism is. Not wander. Wander. It is the unwanted erection
Oh,
You know,
God. Okay, yeah.
that some medications can cause. Death usually occurs 2 to 6 hours after being bitten, and because of respiratory arrest or asphyxiation. Again, children are most at risk. There are nearly 4,000 bites per year, the severest of which are easily treated with antivenom. 2018 study reported that there were 15 deaths since 1903 in Brazil, but only 2 were confirmed. So
Oh,
we don't have
okay.
the best data, but
This is in like undeveloped places, most likely.
yeah,
Banana
areas,
plantations or something.
yeah, where
Okay. All right.
Now I'm going to talk about the funnel web spider. I know you've heard of this one, right?
Funnel web is the name of a weapon in Destiny 2.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it probably comes from this spider. It is
There's also a weapon named the Recluse in Destiny 2.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Now, the Sydney funnel web spider Atrax robustus. It is medium to large in size. Can be about 2 to 3 inches. Biggest one was like 4 inches.
I would absolutely get on a plane and go.
What if it was? What if you found a Brazilian wandering spider wandering on the plane?
I would wonder
With some banana.
how to get off this plane right now. Can you
That's
momentarily open the door and throw a spider out?
instead of snakes on a plane, they should have done spiders on a plane.
Flush a spider. Can you flush a spider down the toilet in an airplane?
Why couldn't you?
I don't know. That'd be my first move.
Okay, so these are glossy and dark colored. They are like a blue, black, or shades of brown in color. They burrow in areas under rocks, logs, holes in trees, shrubs, etc. Just wherever they can kind of get underneath. They don't make webs, they burrow. Okay. They eat insects, lizards, and frogs typically. So do wolf spiders, I think. Wolf spiders burrow.
Yes,
we tend to have some of those around here. But now they are aggressive if agitated, and they are more active at night. The Guinness World Record people basically said that this is the most venomous spider in the world.
In the world.
So they're the most toxic to humans, at least. So its venom contains delta atracotoxin, which is a neurotoxin that masses. Wow, I can't talk today. That messes with sodium ion channels. It is highly toxic to humans and primates, but doesn't seem to affect other mammals' nervous systems for some reason.
This is the second time you mentioned sodium channels.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of mentioning of the sodium ion channels because a lot of the neurotoxins tend to act upon those.
Okay.
That we're going to talk about.
That makes sense.
Now, the spiders often bite multiple times and usually use venom each time, which is why they can be so dangerous. Symptoms, if bitten, include intense pain, nausea, vomiting, hypersalivation, muscle spasms and twitching, disorientation and confusion, difficulty breathing, and loss of consciousness. It is a medical emergency if bitten. While death may occur if left untreated, no deaths have been reported since the antivenom was made in 1981. So.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, that's fortunate.
Yes.
Wow.
So sticking with arachnids, we're going to talk about some scorpions.
Oof, I hate them too.
Scorpions. We don't really do we have those around?
Yeah, we do.
I don't think we have the super venomous kind though.
I don't think so.
They're just ugly.
Yes.
Sorry if you like scorpions, but they're kind of ugly to me.
Didn't Wednesday Addams have
a pet scorpion? Yeah.
Yes. Oh man.
It's great.
What a vibe.
Now, I'm going to mention the Arizona bark scorpion for those who live in Arizona and in New Mexico, around those areas. It's the most painful scorpion sting in the U.S., and it's dangerous to pets and small children. There is the fat tail scorpion in the Middle East and Africa. The military classifies this scorpion as one of the deadliest in the world, and soldiers in the Middle East are warned to avoid them.
Oh, the military does?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, they can't be losing their peoples to scorpions.
Yes, and we've spent our share of time as the American military in the Middle East.
We have.
Yes.
But I really want to talk about the death stalker, which its name should point out why.
Okay. I immediately hate it. Please continue.
I hate this scientific name I'm about to say. Laurus quinquestriatus. It puts the quest in scientific names. Quinquestriatus. Quinquestriatus, I guess, means 5-striped smooth tail. So that's okay. It's also called the Palestine yellow scorpion, but it can also be found in North Africa, basically from North Africa to the Middle East. Its venom contains multiple neurotoxins, chlorotoxin, this is funny to me, charybdotoxin, and scilatoxin.
What's that about?
Okay, you remember in Homer's Odyssey, he meets with Charybdis, is it like the sea monster, and then Scylla, the Hydra monster?
Yes.
So you've got charybdotoxin and scilatoxin here next to each other. I don't know. I got to look more into that because that sounded... There's an old saying where it was like, oh, you know how you're stuck between a rock and a hard place? There's another saying that says you're stuck between Scylla and Charybdis.
That's clever.
Anyway, sorry if that was really out there, but that just
No,
interested me.
that's fun. That's cool.
Also,
Obviously, the toxicologist who was studying this to begin with was a
really
reader.
into the Odyssey.
Yes, into the classics.
So it also has agitoxins 1, 2, and 3. So do I. I'm just kidding.
As do I.
And another toxin called LQ2. There's a lot going on with some of these toxins.
R2D2.
So they're very toxic. We'll just say that.
Okay.
Now, stings are very painful and they are considered a medical emergency requiring anti-venom. However, this anti-venom isn't necessarily regulated by anyone, so it's somewhat considered experimental, but apparently it works. Anyway.
Huh?
Yeah, there's not like regulated or approved but it does work apparently.
That's crazy.
So, but they don't have like a association that does that with this stuff over there.
Oh, you mean in the Middle East?
Like this isn't FDA or anything like that.
It's like a home remedy.
Well,
something.
it is made by like a pharmaceutical company. It's just not regulated
Right,
by
there's no FDA there.
Right.
Understood.
So
interesting.
Yeah. So stings can cause anaphylactic shock and lead to pancreatitis. Funny enough, not really funny, but strangely enough.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. If the sting proves fatal, it is usually due to pulmonary edema. So basically drowning without drowning.
Wow.
Okay, so we're getting away from the arachnids. We're going to move to snakes, which everybody knows. Like when you say venomous, a lot of people are like, snakes, that's what that is, right? Sure. As we now know, caterpillars can be venomous too.
Yes, they can.
But snakes, there are a lot of snakes out there, a lot of venomous snakes. I'm only going to talk about a few of them because there's no way I could fit all of them. As of 2022, there are 3,971 known snake species. Around 600 of these are venomous and about 200 are able to kill humans. So there you go. There's your numbers. We're going to talk about the inland taipan, also known as the fierce snake. And Oxyuranus microlepidopus. I knew you were going to laugh at that. Oxyuranus microlepidopus. Lepidotus, excuse me.
Levodopa. Levodopa. Carbidopa.
No, not that.
Okay.
It is native to central to eastern Australia. It is considered the most venomous snake in the world. Usually a light brown or dark brown.
You said central Australia?
Yeah, like central to eastern Australia.
Of course it is.
Now, they normally eat rodents. One bite has enough venom to kill 100 grown men.
Good Lord.
It is thankfully rather shy and reclusive, though. So
why are they being so extra with the venom is my question.
Yes, and its venom is neurotoxic, hemotoxic, myotoxic, nephrotoxic, and hemorrhagic in nature. So
I'm never going to Australia.
So you've got neurotoxic, the nervous system, hemotoxic, messing with your blood, that's probably where the hemorrhaging comes in. Myotoxic, so it's messing with your muscle tissue. Nephrotoxic, messing with your kidneys. Okay.
There's not much left.
Right. Now, and usually when you mess with the kidneys, you're going to be messing with the heart because when your kidneys are failing, your heart's going to fail.
Of course.
Too.
Ah, crap, that took my kidney.
It all just falls apart, okay? Now, symptoms can include local pain, of course, headache, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, diarrhea, dizziness, fainting, convulsions, major organ damage, rhabdomyolysis.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rhabdo. Full-on rhabdo.
You CrossFitters, please stop.
Or at least look into that. You don't want rhabdomyolysis. Disseminated coagulopathy, kind of what we mentioned earlier about the hemorrhaging, and death. Now, left untreated, 80% it's an 80% plus death rate. So basically, if you get bitten, I wouldn't even be paying attention to the symptoms so much as I'd be like, okay, let's get to the hospital because you need to get medical help immediately.
That's crazy.
So while the most venomous, the taipan is not the snake most responsible for deaths. That record goes to the saw-scaled viper, which is Echis carinatus, found in the Middle East, Central Asia, and the desert areas of India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Africa. They are highly aggressive, which is why they probably kill more than the taipan. There are 12 species that are recognized. They do this sort of sidewinding motion. They're not sidewinders per se, but they do that kind of same movement where they
Mhm.
Their venom contains neurotoxins, cardiotoxins, hemotoxins, and cytotoxins. It just feels like it's overkill.
It's too much.
It's a
Like,
bit-
why are you guys
right.
so mad?
So we've gone over neurotoxins, cardiotoxins, obviously the heart, hemotoxins, blood, cytotoxins, cells are just going pop. Now,
Wow.
they do give warning by coiling and making a sizzling sound by rubbing their scales together, which is something called stridulation.
Stridulation?
Stridulation.
Stridulation.
Yeah.
Okay.
STRI. Stridulation.
Stridulation.
Yes.
Okay.
Venom is lethal less than 10% of the time for untreated victims, but it is aggressive. So there are an estimated 5,000 to 30,000, depending on what you read, deaths every year.
That's a big margin for error.
Well, 30,000 in India alone is from what I read.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 5,000 might have been somewhere else, but it was hard to find a whole lot of data in numbers for this. So the only two spots I saw, one said that there was about 30,000 deaths every year in India. Another said about 5,000 deaths estimated, and it didn't say a place. So
It just made the statement.
Yes.
Okay.
that's why I put that on there.
Uh-huh.
There is an anti-venom, but not everyone has access to it because a lot of these places are areas where they don't have
Yep.
healthcare.
Wow.
So some honorable mentions in this grouping. The black mamba, because I know somebody's going to mention it.
Mhm.
It's found in the savannas and rocky hills of southern and eastern Africa. Africa's longest venomous snake. It reaches up to 14 feet,
Oh my God.
but 8.2 is average. Okay.
Hmm.
It can reach speeds of 12.5 miles per hour.
Oh my God.
Their name actually comes from the blue-black color of the inside of their mouths, which they will show if they feel threatened.
Okay.
Their external coloring is more olive to grayish in color.
Mhm.
Now, the venom consists of neurotoxins, cardiotoxins, and its bites are almost always fatal. They are more shy than aggressive, thankfully, and typically only bite if cornered.
Okay.
So, just don't do that.
If any of you out there are thinking of cornering a black mamba, please stop.
Yes. Now, along with snakes, I do want to discuss something from history. Let's talk about Cleopatra.
Okay.
There's always been this story that Cleopatra died from a snake bite. Like she committed suicide. She died by suicide. She put a snake to her neck or whatever.
Oh, suicide.
Yes.
I didn't know that part about it. Okay.
You didn't know that?
No.
Anyway. So Cleopatra, she's the one who, she was actually Greek. She was the queen of the kingdom of Egypt when it was Ptolemaic.
Okay.
So she was the queen of
I didn't know she
Ptolemaic
was
kingdom of
Greek.
Egypt. She was Greek, yes.
Oh, wow.
She had a relationship with Julius Caesar, who she allegedly had a son with. She also had a relationship with Mark Antony, whom she had like 3 kids with. And
Wow.
I'm just giving a little bit of background so we know why all this is happening. But Octavian, who was Gaius Octavius, who was Caesar's adopted son and heir. After Caesar died, the whole stabby stab, Ides of March thing with Caesar.
Et tu, Brute?
Yeah. So after he died, Octavian became rivals with Mark Antony and thus Cleopatra. Cleopatra was once actually accused of brainwashing Mark Antony with witchcraft and sorcery.
Okay.
And she was called as dangerous as Helen of Troy.
Hmm.
She's a woman and she's brainwashed him with her.
Witchcraft.
Seduced him. So anyway, Octavian would go on to victory against them. Mark Antony took his own life at 53. Can't believe he actually lived that long. Cool.
What?
Yeah.
Why would he? Anyway.
But he was, I mean, if they would have caught him, they would have killed him anyway, right? Plus, I think he thought Cleopatra had already killed herself too. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
So he actually took his own life by stabbing himself in the stomach with his own sword. That doesn't sound fun.
No.
And the popular story for Cleopatra is that she killed herself using an asp or a cobra. Plutarch, who was a Greek philosopher / biographer / historian.
Plutarch Heavensby?
No, not that Plutarch. This is the old Greek historian dude. He actually suggested that an implement was used to inject toxin. Some believe it was a needle or that she used a poison ointment. Either way, there were no snakes found near her or her 2 dead servants because apparently being a servant back then meant, you die with your person. Loyalty. Still, some believe she poisoned herself by drinking lethal poison, possibly a mix of hemlock, wolfsbane, and opium, based on one historian's studies of ancient documents and work as a toxicologist.
It's crazy.
Octavian could have also had her killed. We don't know for sure. We just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the story was she killed herself with a snake, but most people don't believe that's how it actually happened. Okay, moving along. We've done some land animals. I am going to discuss the platypus. It's one of the few mammals to produce venom. Yes.
What?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, I got to
platypus.
hear
The
this.
platypus also swims, so
But it's the platypus. It looks like one of the nicest animals ever. It's venomous?
just don't touch it.
Well, yeah,
What are you
but
gonna do? You gonna go up and hug it?
No, but it's cute.
It's cute.
Like a wombat.
Well, wombats are kind of cuter. The platypus is an interesting looking creature.
You have a taxonomy of cuteness, obviously.
Well,
You filled in.
cute. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But they are one of the few mammals to produce venom.
I'm shocked.
Its venom is produced in the crural glands. Yes, I said
Not the
crural.
crural.
In the upper thigh, and it is delivered via spurs on the hind limbs.
It has spurs?
It does. Connected to their bone, actually. Like it's a pretty, it's sturdy.
What is this new devilry?
Now, it's powerful enough to paralyze smaller animals. It's not lethal to humans. It is, however, incredibly and persistently painful. The pain it causes can last from days to weeks, sometimes months, and it does not respond to meds like morphine.
Oh my God.
And there's a story in 1991, a man named Keith Payne.
You're making that up.
No, I'm not.
His last name was what?
Payne.
Okay. Please continue.
Paine, if you must know. He was actually
I don't care.
He was a former member of the Australian Army, and he himself
Was he a major?
I don't know.
Killing is my business, and
don't-
business is good.
I don't know for sure. However, he was accidentally stung by this spur.
He was trying to wrestle with a duck-billed platypus.
No, he was actually trying to remove it from a place he thought that it was dangerous.
Oh, okay.
So he actually described the pain after being stung as worse than being hit with shrapnel.
And he had been hit with shrapnel. Oh my gosh.
He'd been in the army before.
I can't believe it.
Now, another mammal that is venomous is the shrew. You know what a shrew is?
Yes.
A little rodent-looking thing.
Yes. Also something you call a woman that you disagree with.
Yeah, well, this might be why that came about, because they're venomous. They have these grooves in their teeth that secrete the venom, I guess. The contents, contents of the venom are able to kill 200 mice.
Oh.
So they don't kill people, but if it's actually...
Are they carnivores? Do they go after?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Now, their venom has actually shown to be useful in some studies for the treatment of hypertension, neuromuscular disease.
You're joking.
Migraines, and even ovarian cancer. So
what?
Yeah. Now, something I did not mention was there. You know what? We'll come to these in a minute. We're going to talk about some sea creatures because I think we're going to get interesting here.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to be talking about Australia a lot. So
again.
They know. They get it. You ever see someone with like a video on their socials or something? You ever see on social media someone holding this cute little octopus and it's got like the blue circles on it, and it's super cute.
I have.
Yeah. That is the blue-ringed octopus. It's found in Australia, but also there's a species found in the Philippines, Papua New Guinea. I have no idea what I wrote there. Solomon Islands. Oh, Vanuatu? Vanuatu, is that how you say it?
Not sure.
I think so. I think it's Vanuatu. But they are this yellowish tan color. And when they feel threatened, they have these vibrant blue circles that just sort of, their muscles kind of make these vibrant blue circles appear. These release a toxin that we've talked about, tetrodotoxin. We talked about that last episode. But this one, it's found in pufferfish. In this instance, though, it is in the salivary glands, produced in the salivary glands. And so when they bite, it's injected.
Okay.
Now, tetrodotoxin is a neurotoxin, and it has been known to be 1,000 times more toxic than cyanide, which it's another thing we've talked about.
Okay.
Another poison we've talked about. Now, it is both poisonous if eaten and venomous when it bites this octopus. Its venom is lethal to humans, causing respiratory arrest as a result of the paralysis of the respiratory muscles within minutes.
Okay.
Victims typically remain conscious as they suffocate, basically. So basically, when you see people like picking those things up, they could easily be just bitten.
So awful.
Like, don't touch it.
I remember those videos where people in the comments or people would stitch those videos on TikTok and be like, "That is dangerous. Please don't
pick
do
them
that."
up. Don't pick them up.
Yeah.
There is not an antidote, and the only thing that can be done is like mechanical ventilation to keep a patient breathing until the effects wear off.
Bro.
If you get to them in time. So, do not touch it. Don't pick it up. If it's cute, I don't care. Don't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we're going to talk about the sea wasp, also known as the Australian box jelly. You've heard of this before, right? The box jellyfish?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, you're dumb.
All right. Scientific name, Chironex fleckeri.
Flickery.
Now, I do have a meaning for the genus of this. Fleckeri is actually is used. The species name is after who discovered it. But Chironex, Chiro is the Latin word for hand. We also get Chiron the centaur in Greek mythology from that same.
Okay.
And next is murder. Means murder.
Okay.
So it basically means hand of death.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I mean, they don't have hands, but you'll get what I'm,
Yeah.
Now, they're found in the waters from North Australia and New Guinea to Indonesia, Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore, the Philippines, and Vietnam. It is the most lethal jellyfish in the world, having killed at least 64 people in Australia between 1884 and 2021. Its tentacles reach up to 3 meters or about 10 feet long. And they are covered with cnidocytes. Yeah. I think I said that right.
Okay.
It's cnidocytes, and I'm pretty sure it's
I think you're right.
cnidocytes, because you don't pronounce the C. Cnidocytes, which deliver powerful venomous stings. Its sting is known to be excruciatingly painful, causes welts and blistering, and in severe cases, they can cause death via cardiovascular collapse. The venom causes cells to become porous and allow potassium leakage, so you get hyperkalemia, which is potassium, and if your potassium has to be in a very limited range, or your heart is going to go crazy.
That's right.
So this can happen within 5 minutes. Some may actually have cardiac arrest or end up drowning if they are swimming, and they end up, dealing with this animal.
I have a fear of jellyfish in general.
Yeah, I've been stung by like regular jellyfish. But...
Really, I hate the idea. I don't know. Like, can you see them? Can you tell they're there?
You can see them sometimes.
Okay.
Now this one, I imagine they're kind of like a white, somewhat clear in some ways, I think.
Yeah, like they're translucent. They're hard to see.
Some of them actually have some color, but a lot of them are. Now you can see them because they're kind of like the tops of them are more like fat, bulbous kind of.
Yeah.
And they kind of float a little bit. They do hurt. I know that. They do hurt.
I'm only motivated to do my swimming in pools.
There's worse things than regular jellyfish, though, in some of the waters that you can swim in. So now, okay, on-site treatment is still the use of acetic acid, like vinegar, at the site of the sting. So like there are like lifeguards out there that carry acetic acid, as it is thought to deactivate some of the cnidocytes delivering the venom. There is now, as of 2019, an antidote as well. Children are most at risk for fatal encounters because of their size. They're smaller, so it doesn't take as much. Now, if victims survive, an extremely itchy rash may develop days after the sting that can last for weeks. It's usually treated with antihistamine creams and stuff like that. Sea turtles and leatherback turtles actually eat them. They don't get stung. So save the sea turtles.
Go off.
Save the sea turtles.
Let's go.
There are also urchins and anemones. I sound like the dude from Finding Nemo. Anemone. Yeah, fire urchins, and there's a fire urchin and there's a hell's fire anemone. So as you can guess by the name, they are very painful. And I know what you're thinking of, like in that Penguin movie where he steps on the urchin.
Stepped on me. Stepped on me. Guy was dancing on me.
Yeah. And then like the other, anyway, yeah, they can be very painful, but not lethal to humans, but painful. Let's talk about cone snails. Conidae. Okay. There are over 900 species. There's over 900 species. They are tropical or subtropical. They're all venomous. They use this sort of thing called a radula, which is like a tongue-like structure. And it's like it's a radula tooth, which is likened to a dart, like a barbed dart or a harpoon. That's what they hunt with, basically.
Oh, I've seen.
So it's like,
what is it called?
you're thinking about cuttlefish.
Yes. Don't they do that?
These are in like shells, though, like snails.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are carnivores, and there are some smaller, and there are some bigger. And it's the bigger ones you have to worry about as a human.
Okay.
Their venom is neurotoxic and normally used to paralyze prey. Now, they can eat fish much bigger than them. The bigger ones can. Conotoxins they have like this multiple neurotoxic mixture. It's a mixture of multiple neurotoxic peptides, basically, each targeting specific nerve channels. It's like smart neurotoxins.
Wow.
Now, the larger species are dangerous to humans, like I said. There have been at least 27 human deaths caused by the cone snails, because there's several kinds. Though it is likely many more than that. Symptoms of its venom include muscle paralysis, vision changes, localized pain, swelling, numbness, tingling, and vomiting, and respiratory failure. These may show up immediately or even days later, these symptoms, after being...
Days later?
Yeah.
Oh, that's concerning.
I know. If stung, you must seek medical attention right away. One such snail, Conus geographus, has been called the cigarette snail because of its quick-acting venom. Victims apparently... Well, they say victims have enough time to smoke a cigarette before they die. So
wow.
There's that. All this in mind, researchers have been looking at conotoxins to help treat pain. Because remember I said they target certain... they're like smart neurotoxins.
Right. That's clever.
They've also been using it in trials to treat Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, depression, epilepsy, nerve injuries, and even diabetes. Wow. The shells of these cone snails are very popular among collectors. Like they'll spend money for these shells. And some jewelry makers. Okay, last fish is the stonefish. I'm not saying this is the last fish that's venomous. There's lots of them out there, but
yeah.
This is the most venomous fish known. It's found in coastal regions of the Indo-Pacific. It's mostly marine, but there are some species that live in rivers. They are easily camouflaged, and human stings often occur as a result of stepping on them. Shuffle your feet, basically. Don't just be stepping. The spines along their dorsal fins inject venom consisting of veruca toxin, which sounds like that kid from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Veruca salt.
It causes...
I want another pony.
It causes intense pain, respiratory distress, cardiovascular damage, convulsions, paralysis, and sometimes death. Now, the treatment of these stings involves using hot water of 45 degrees Celsius or 113 degrees Fahrenheit to the affected area, as it apparently denatures the venom. Antivenom is available and used in severe cases. Stonefish antivenom is the second most used antivenom in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Now, they are also considered a delicacy when prepared properly.
See,
in many parts of Asia.
I'm just like, can't you just have some cod or something normal? Do you really have to risk death at dinner? Go ahead.
Death at Dinner. That sounds like a great title for a book.
Agatha Christie.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the venomous creatures I wanted to talk about. That was a lot. I know that was a lot. So,
Great stuff.
but I feel like there's so much more. I just picked what I thought were the more interesting ones.
Sure. That was a lot of great stuff. All right. That does it for today's episode, everybody. Thank you for listening. Be sure to follow the podcast Instagram, poisoners_almanac. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.